Greetings! Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time I'm checking out a new isometric shooter called Deep Nightmare on the PlayStation. The game was developed by Nato Games, who are also working on the upcoming shooter Mechaconda, and was published by my friends at QUByte Interactive, who made several awesome indie games I've previously reviewed, including 99 Vidas, Undergrave and Joshs Journey, Darkness Totems. Deep Nightmare is a classic top-down twin-stick shooter, taking inspiration from other action games like The Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon. The game presents an enjoyable and accessible experience, with responsive controls, simplistic graphical style which works surprisingly well, and a gameplay loop that keeps a player engaged through the campaign. I'm a huge fan of bullet hell shooters and roguelike games on the console. Plus, the publisher has an excellent track record with console releases, so I decided to give this quirky little indie game a try. The story of Deep Nightmare follows an unnamed young boy who ignored his mother's warnings about eating too much food before bed. As he drifts off to sleep, the bad decision results in him becoming trapped in a mysterious dreamscape. In order to escape and return to the waking world, he will need to battle his way through 30 levels across 6 areas, defeating monsters and ultimately facing off against giant bosses in the form of nightmares. Each level is a gauntlet of monsters and traps, with the player dodging waves of projectiles and cutting down foes with their own arsenal in the form of toy guns, which provide a surprising selection of stopping power, including knife throwers, saw blade launchers, and my personal favourite, the automatic rocket launcher. Additionally, there are also spells on offer, ranging from energy bombs to clear the screen to a personal shield, which is essential for boss battles. All of the weapons and spells are purchased from vendors using currency collected during each run, with the player able to experiment with different combinations of weapons and spells to make a build that works for them. While I did enjoy completing the campaign of Deep Nightmare, the game has a few areas where it falls short. Primarily, the problem is an overall lack of variety in the levels and gameplay. Every level in the game has very little visual difference, with a simple set of square arenas with only minor changes. The enemy roster is very narrow, with only a few monster types seen throughout the game. Furthermore, while I liked some of the weapons on offer, many of them are simple variants of existing weapons, meaning most of your arsenal can become irrelevant once you get the bigger guns. The same can be said for the spells, with the defensive abilities being far more useful than offensive spells. The game campaign is a little on the short side, with the players able to complete the entire game and get the unlockable weapons and items in a little over a few hours. Finally, the game difficulty is too easy, with enemies having simplistic attack patterns that players can exploit, especially in the later half of the game once you've unlocked all the upgrades. Deep Nightmare is a short but enjoyable game that will appeal to fans of bullet hell shooters due to its simple and accessible gameplay. A highlight of the game for me is the bosses, which are well designed and provide a challenge in contrast to the rest of the game, which is a bit too short and far too easy. If you're a fan of titles like The Binding of Isaac and are looking for something similar, then Deep Nightmare has got you covered. But I'd recommend waiting for it to go on sale. I hope you enjoyed this review of Deep Nightmare. And if you did, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe, as it really helps the channel. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope you join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.